Hello viewers, welcome. Today we are going to read a short story. A story by Antony Chekhov. The name of the story is The Death of a Government Clerk. So, let's begin. One fine evening, a no less fine government clerk called Ivan Dmitrich. Ivan was sitting in second row of the stalls, gazing through an opera glass at a cloche de carnival. He gazed, you must follow my cursor. He gazed and felt at the acme of bliss. But suddenly, in stories, one so often meets with this but suddenly. The authors are right. Life is so full of surprises. But suddenly his face puckered up. His eyes disappeared. His breathing was arrested. He took the opera glass from his eyes, bent over, and Aksh! He sneezed as you perceive. It is not reprehensible for anyone to sneeze anywhere. Peasants sneeze, so do police superintendents, and sometimes even privy councillors. All men sneeze. Ivan was not in the least confused. He wiped his face with his handkerchief and, like a polite man, looked round to see whether he has disturbed anyone by his sneezing. But then he saw, overcome with confusion, he saw that a old gentleman, sitting in front of him in the first row of the stalls, was carefully wiping his bald head and his neck with gloves and muttering something to himself. In the old gentleman, Ivan recognized that, oh, he is a Bridgelhow, a civilian general serving in the Department of Transport. Then he said, I have spattered him, thought Ivan. He is not the head of my department, but still it is awkward. I must apologize. Ivan gave a cough, bent his whole person forward, and whispered in the general ear, Pardon you, Excellency. I spattered you accidentally. Spattered you accidentally. Then General said, Never mind, never mind. For God's sake, excuse me, sir. I didn't mean to. Oh, please sit down. Let me listen to opera. That general became very disturbed. Ivan was embarrassed. He smiled stupidly and fell to gazing at the stage. He gazed at it, but was no longer feeling bliss now. Not he was no longer happy. He began to be troubled by uneasiness. In the interval, he went up to Bridgelhow, walked beside him, and overcoming his shyness, muttered, I spattered you. Your Excellency, forgive me. You see, I didn't do it to. Oh, that's enough. I had forgotten it, and you keep on about it, said the general, moving his lower lip impatiently. He was very angry now. The general was angry. He has forgotten. Now the clerk is thinking he has forgotten, but there is a fiendish light in his eyes, thought Ivan, looking suspiciously at the general, and he doesn't want to talk. I ought to explain to him that I really didn't intend, that it is a law of nature, or else he will think I mean to spit on him. He doesn't think so now, but he will think so later, maybe. On getting home, Ivan told his wife of his breach of good manners, of his bad manners. It struck him that his wife took too frivolous a view of the incident. His wife was not bothered about this. She was little frightened in the beginning, but when she learned that Bridgelhow, that general, was in different department, she was reassured, and she was now okay. Still, you had better go and apologize, she said to her husband, or he will think you don't know how to behave in public. Then Yvonne said, That's just it. I did apologize. but he took it somehow queerly with strange behavior. He didn't say a word of sense. Wasn't a time to talk properly, you see. Next day, Ivan put on new uniform, had his hair cut, and went to Bridgel Hall to explain. Going into general reception room, he saw there a number of petitioners and among them the general himself, who was beginning to interview them. After questioning several petitioners, the general raised his eyes and looked at Ivan. Then Ivan said, Yesterday at the Arcadia, if you recollect, if you remember, Your Excellency, the letter began, I sneezed accidentally, spattered on you. He was just doing like that. What nonsense, General said. It's beyond anything. What can I do for you? Said the General, addressing the next petitioner. Now, Clerk was saying, He won't speak, thought Ivan, turning pale. Now he was very disturbed. That means that he is angry. No, it can't be left like this. I will explain to him. When the general had finished his conversation with the last of the petitioner and was turning towards his inner apartment and to his room, Ivan took a step towards him and muttered, Your Excellency, if I venture to trouble you, Excellency, it is simply from a feeling, I may say, of regret. It was not intentional, if you will graciously believe me. The general made a lachrymose face and waved his hand. Why, you are simply making fun of me, sir, he said as he closed the door behind him. He was very angry now, that general, beyond doubt. Where the making I am pan where the making fun of it? Thought Ivan. I was not making fun of him. There is nothing of the sort. He is general, but he can't understand. If that is how it is I am not going to apologize to him that fan form anymore. The devil take him. I will write a letter to him. Idea. But I won't go. By Joe, I won't. So, thought Ivan as he walked home, he did not write a letter to General. He pondered and he thought and he pondered and could not make up that letter. He was not able to write. He had to go next day to explain in person. He himself went there. I ventured to disturb you, Excellency, yesterday, he muttered, he whispered, when the general lifted inquiring eyes upon him. Not to make fun as you were pleased to say, sir. Please try to understand. I was apologizing for having spattered you in sneezing. And I did not dream of making fun of you. Should I dare to make fun of you? If we should take to making fun, then there would be no respect for persons. There would be. Then general was then be off, yelled the general, turning suddenly purple and shaking all over. Ivan, what? Asked Ivan in a whisper, turning numb with horror. Be off, repeated the general, stamping. Something seemed to give way in Ivan's stomach. Seeing nothing and hearing nothing, he was in total vacuum. He reeled to the door, went out into the street, and went staggering along, reaching home mechanically without taking off his uniform. He lay down on the sofa and died. So this is a death of a clerk. Hope you like this video. Thank you so much.